There's a saying that if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So R&B recording and Grammy-nominated artist Neo is in danger of being banished to the shadow realm by the weak-ass, emotional-ass cancel culture that we have allowed to run freedom of speech right out of this country. Right? And it's all because he said that little kids shouldn't be given the power to choose whether or not to change their gender. Let's listen together.
I have no issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with with nobody. Okay,
Right.
love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders, and that's just how I rock.
Me
now,
too.
you could identify as a goldfish if you feel.
Right.
I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a goldfish, but you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all good.
Amen.
I mean, it's just, we live in a...
So he's clearly saying, I don't have to address you. And this is the problem. This is the bigger problem with this, right? The bigger problem is the fact that he said, I don't have to address you the way that you want to be addressed. Right? That's the real issue here. Let's not, I don't want to conflate things or really turn this into something that is not, but there's a couple things here that are happening that I think that we need to be made aware of. And one of the major problems that people have is that you don't address them like they want to be addressed. This whole community of I identify as. You identify as what the fuck you are. How about that? But let's continue.
A weird time, man. We
do.
We live in a time where a person will have a mental breakdown in front of their camera.
Right.
Wait, let me white balance it.
That's crazy.
Facts.
Right?
What the hell is that? Like,
Facts.
If you are of sound mind enough to find the light,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and
Exactly.
then right
Exactly.
now,
Facts.
ain't nothing wrong with you.
Right.
Man.
No, there is something wrong with
There's
you.
something wrong with you. There ain't nothing wrong with you. Like, man.
Right. You're adding to it. It's not how we deal with life, you know. And a lot of people.
How long is
want
this? This
pity,
is about 5
self-pity.
minutes. I don't want to watch this whole thing.
And I
Listen.
don't like that.
That was one thing that was not allowed in the house that I grew up in. It's like, okay, get your cry out,
Right.
give that its moment. But once it's done, keep moving.
I want to
That's
find the
We're not
viral
gonna
moment.
sit
I
and
want to
dwell
find the
in
moment
sorrow. We're not going to
No.
sit and dwell
that
in
he
it.
is
We're gonna
actually
give
under fire
those
for it, because he
emotions
said something.
the moment that they deserve.
Amen.
We're going to respect those emotions. But then it's the way I was raised.
Me too.
Yeah, like, all right, that hurt. Go ahead, cry.
Yes. Exactly.
Just can't tell jokes no more.
No.
Like, everybody.
About everyone.
About everyone
Right.
and everything. Then it annoys me.
I mean, anything can trigger you. A light can trigger you.
Okay, you gotta be careful. That's
Right.
kind of what it has to
We
be.
was kicked outside.
Man.
It's totally different
We need to
times.
get back to them days. I feel like I feel like parents have almost forgotten what the role of a parent is.
Here it is.
It's like, okay,
Lost control.
if your little boy comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want to be a girl," and you just let him rock with that,
Right.
he's 5.
Right. And where did he get that
If
from?
you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's going to do that.
Exactly.
Facts.
When did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves? When
Absolutely.
did
He's
that
spitting
happen?
facts,
Right.
all
Like,
facts
I don't
right now.
understand that. I don't get that.
And to medicate these young kids that are 5, 6, growing up and knowing that it affects their brain, it affects their organs, it makes them sick, but they're not allowed to do drugs, they're not allowed to do alcohol.
Right.
We can
He
medicate them
can't
up.
drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex.
Right, right. What sexual orientation, and he can cut up his pee-pee, and that, to me, that makes no sense
And
whatsoever.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that they either passed or are trying to pass a law in LA that states if your child comes to you and asks to do some of these things and you say no, they can take your kid for
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Just passing.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, right? Now, we got the context of what's happening here. And now I want you all to take a little trip with me. We're going to jump into a time machine and travel back to about March of last year, 2022, where all of this weird shit really started. And it started with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the Don't Say Gay bill. And I'm using air quotes here because that wasn't the actual name of the bill that they were lobbying for. The real name of the bill was the Parental Rights in Education bill. And it was designed to keep all of these weird-ass, self-absorbed losers that wanted kindergartens and first and second and third graders to be able to openly discuss sexual orientation from doing so with their teachers, right? That was the original goal. When you send your kids off to school, it's already bad enough, right? That you have to worry about all of the unknowns involved with public schooling. I think we can agree. But these fucking weirdos were advocating for little kids that could barely read and write efficiently to be able to discuss what's going on between gay couples in the home. Now, someone tell me why that would ever need to come up in a place where children are supposed to be learning the basic fundamentals of life. Explain that to me, please, somebody. One of you left-wingers that support this bullshit. But this was a massive deal. You had other officials and parents arguing against this bill. You even had middle school and high school kids get involved organizing walkouts because they somehow turned this into a Don't Say Gay parade. And this type of radical thinking is where people just go off the deep end and become victims in their own minds. This is what we have to deal with when it comes to social issues. And the idea that children should be allowed to make permanent decisions that will affect the rest of their lives at an age where they don't understand the ramifications of making a decision like this today and what it will mean for them tomorrow is disgusting. It's creepy. It's weirdo shit. And it should be a crime to allow. There's a reason we have laws in place that say you have to be a certain age to drink alcohol. You got to be a certain age to drive a car. You have to be a certain age to consent to sex. Because somewhere along the way, we realize that children and adolescents need to be protected from themselves. Right? We're talking about impressionable minds that don't have the capacity to make their own informed life decisions on a daily basis. But we want to give them the ability to change their gender? It's the weirdest shit ever to me. It's the weirdest shit ever to me. And this agenda has gotten so bad that influencers, celebrities, and anyone with a platform have been terrified to speak their truth from fear of being canceled. And as a result, losing some money. And I guess my bigger question is, why is Neo one of the only ones to speak out publicly and say, hey, this shit is wrong and it's weird? At what point do we start to care more about the things that are damaging and are a detriment to us than we do about the money? At what point do you grow a pair of balls, stand on your square, and say, fuck cancel culture, and fuck any weirdo that thinks a child should be given authority to manipulate their body and or talk about homosexuality at the ages of 5 and 6 years old? After this video of Neo made its rounds, his publicist got to work immediately whipping up an apology letter addressed to the Alphabet people. And then Neo came back, released another video basically doubling down on what he said and ousted his publicist like, look, yo, yo, don't quiet my disapproval. Don't tailor my words. I said what I said.
What's going on, loved ones? This is Neo. All right, listen. I normally don't give too much of a damn about what y'all think about what I do, what y'all have to say about what I say, whatever. I normally don't care because, like I said, opinions ain't special. Everybody got one. However, this is something I feel very strongly on, and I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer. So check this out. First and foremost, I do not apologize for having an opinion on this matter. I am a 43-year-old heterosexual man raising 5 boys and 2 girls, okay? That's my reality. Now, if my opinion offended somebody, yeah, sure, I apologize for you being offended because that wasn't my intention. My intention is never to offend anybody. However, I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I'm absolutely entitled to feel how I feel the same way you are entitled to feel how you feel. I ain't asked nobody to follow me. I ain't asked nobody to agree with me. I was asked a question and I answered the damn question, okay? I have no beef with the LGBTQIA plus community whatsoever. I ain't got no beef with y'all. Do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Do what you want to do with your kids. However, somebody asked my opinion on this matter, and this is how I feel. I will never be okay with allowing a child to make a decision that detrimental to their life. I will never be okay with that. I don't care. I definitely plan to educate myself a little bit more on this matter. However, I doubt that there's any book anywhere or any opinion that somebody's going to tell me that's going to make me okay with letting a child make a decision like that. That's just period, point blank, and that's how I feel. If I get canceled for this, then you know what? Maybe this is a world where they don't need a Neo no more, all right?
The thing that is very weird to me is that they're okay with, these people are okay with voicing their opinions on how shit should go and how open they should be with their life choices, right? But as soon as an opposing view steps into the room, all of a sudden, y'all clutching pearls. All of a sudden, you offended and want everybody else to be quiet. Fuck y'all. That shit is weird. And what's really happening is that these people who have already made their life choices feel it's necessary to showcase their sexuality, beliefs, and relationships to minors for the purpose of opening their minds up to learn behavior and unbalanced lives. But in reality, you're just confusing the fuck out of them. You don't see straight people going around holding up signs proclaiming their sexuality to the world. It's always only the weird ass outliers that have to shove their shit in the face of everyone else. We need more voices, more support, and more people not afraid to express their thoughts out in the face of the media to combat this idea that just because you give your opinion on something, it equals hate. I give my opinion a lot on this channel. Like when I talk about how much of a fucking fraud Umar Johnson, Boyce Watkins, and EYL are. And how they use that for the black community mantra to sucker all you gullible idiots into financing their lives. And I get hate for it. But it's fine. Because you can't cancel me. And I'm always stand on my square. Especially when I have factual proof. You can't cancel me. I'm uncancelable. You can't move me. I'm like the fucking juggernaut. Bitch. There's nothing you can do. Y'all don't pay my bills. YouTube don't pay my bills. I can say what the fuck I want. And I will. And we need more people like Neo. So shout out to him. Shout out to Neo.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! This that new bitch! We must pay homage to them.
Bitch, the pressure's on. Get your shit together, tryna fuck with me. It's grown man, nothing less than business when it comes to me.